Upon this night, there is one who knows a desperation that mounts with each passing moment. For there is a man who suspects his dangerous secret, and before this night is over, he may be exposed and destroyed.
What happened?
I spoke to Dave Woodard.
And what did he say?
Enough to frighten me.
What do you mean?
He knows I'm conducting experiments on you.
What?
He found out I've been ordering medical supplies. He wanted to know what they were for.
Well, what did you tell him?
Oh, I told him you have a rare blood disease I'm trying to cure.
Why did you tell him that?
Well, I had to tell him something. He doesn't know what the experiments are, but he thinks that I'm a doctor treating a patient.
Well, didn't he ask you why you were doing it so secretly?
Yes. I told him you didn't want your family to know that you were ill.
Well, did he believe that?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Barnabas. I'm not sure what he believes.
Next thing, you'll be telling me that Woodard poses no threat.
No. This time I'm frightened, Barnabas. Dave behaves as if he's on to something. And if he is, this could mean the end of everything for both of us.
How could you let this happen?
How could I keep him from finding out about the medical supplies?
You might have been a bit cleverer about obtaining them.
Well, they had to be signed for. There was no other way to obtain them. What are we going to do about it?
Well, first, we must burn your notes.
No!
We must. What if Woodard, or anyone else for that matter, finds out about them?
How can anyone find them? They're under lock and key in my room. No one knows they even exist.
Well, someone might find them.
How?
Well, I don't know. But Dr. Woodard is already suspicious.
He doesn't know about the notes. There's no way he could know.
How long has he been suspicious?
Not long.
Well, he must have wondered why you didn't leave Collinwood after Willie was captured.
He had a theory about that.
What theory?
Well, at one time, he accused me of caring for you.
Caring for me.
Yes.
And what did you tell him?
I told him I did.
And he believed that?
Yes.
How absurd. Woodard is a bigger fool than I thought he was.
Don't find that theory so preposterous?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
I haven't time to talk nonsense. Had a chance to arrange for those notes, and they're a danger to me. We must get them and destroy them.
Barnabas, it isn't necessary. Nobody can get to them. Nobody.
Dr. Woodard.
Mrs. Johnson? I just dropped by to see young David.
Oh, well, I'll tell Mrs. Stoddard you're here.
That won't be necessary, Mrs. Johnson. I'll speak to her after I've seen David.
All right.
Is, Miss Hoffman here?
No, she went out. She said she'd be out most of the evening.
Ah, I see.
Yes, she goes out most every evening. I don't know where she goes, and I guess it's not my concern.
Is, David in his room?
Yes.
That's the last door on the left down the hall, isn't it?
No, that's Miss Hoffman's room.
Yes, I see.
David's is the first door on the right.
Ah, of course it is, yes.
I sure hope you find out what's wrong with him. He's been acting so strange lately.
Well, I hope to know a great deal more after tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, tonight may be the night when a lot of questions are answered. Well, excuse me, Mrs. Johnson.
Liz, have you taken leave of your senses?
No, Roger, I haven't.
Burke Devlin living here? Surely you can't be serious.
I'm perfectly serious. The West Wing is going to waste. Why shouldn't Vicky and Burke live there after their marriage?
Have you forgotten who he is? He was out to destroy this family and almost succeeded.
That was in the past. We're on good terms now.
Well, you may be on good terms with him, but I'm not. I won't tolerate his staying here.
It is not your decision to make. And I've decided to let Burke and Vicky have the West Wing if they want it, so there's no use arguing about it.
Liz, you've got to listen.
Roger,
I want to talk to you. Will you come to the drawing room? Oh,
Mrs. Stoddard.
yes?
Oh, Dr. Woodard's here. He's upstairs with David now.
Oh,
And he's been here about a half hour, so he'll be down soon.
thank you.
come on, Liz. I have a few more things to say to you.
I need my notes, Barnabas. I have to have a record of what I'm doing.
Don't argue with me. Those notes must be burned now, tonight, before they get into the wrong hands.
They won't.
I said don't argue with me. Now, where do you keep them?
In a metal box in my room, and the box is locked.
Well, we'll go to Collinwood now and get them and burn them.
I wish I could persuade you it isn't necessary.
Well, you can't, so don't bother trying.
But why do we have to go to Collinwood together? Why can't I go alone and bring the notebook back here to you?
No,
Why not?
because I want to examine the metal box myself. I want to make absolutely sure that no one has tampered with the lock.
Strange.
What is?
You're actually frightened, aren't you?
Well, why shouldn't I be frightened? If anyone got a hold of the contents of your notebook, I could be exposed and destroyed.
I never thought you were capable of feeling any emotion, even fear. But you are.
We've wasted enough time. We are going to Collinwood. Come.
All right.
she was out. Miss Hoffman? Miss Hoffman? Are you in there? Funny. I thought sure I heard it. Well, I guess I was mistaken.
Telling me you're turning Collinwood into a hotel.
Oh, stop it, Roger.
Why don't you do that, Liz? Why don't you hang a sign out front and let out all the rooms?
You're being absurd.
You're the one who's being absurd. Our ancestors knew you were even thinking of letting a part of this house out to a man like Devlin. They'd be rolling over in their graves.
I simply will not argue about it. I've made the decision, and you'll have to accept it.
I'll never accept it.
I'm afraid you'll have to.
Liz, there must be something I can say to you.
You said everything there is to say, and so have I.
Liz, please.
Barnabas,
Oh, good evening, Elizabeth.
what a pleasant surprise.
Hello, Mrs. Stoddard. I was about to show Mr. Collins where the original architecture near the West Wing had been altered.
If we have your permission.
Of course.
It'll just take a moment.
Thank you.
Barnabas, before you go,
Yes?
I would like your opinion on my late sister's latest brainstorm.
Roger,
She is planning to open up the West Wing for Burke Devlin.
Devlin.
Yes, Devlin. He is planning to come in here bag and baggage. Now, what do you think of that?
Roger, it isn't definite yet. Burke hasn't said he wants to do it.
He is, I know, Devlin. He'd give his eye teeth to make Collinwood his permanent address.
It wouldn't be permanent. Eventually, they'll have their own home. Besides, Burke has some very strong reservations about whether he wants to do it or not.
I don't believe that. If I know Devlin, he's had his bags already packed.
Well, what is the purpose of renting it to Burke?
To keep Vicky here.
Vicky?
But David is very upset right now. If Vicky will leave, I don't know what would happen.
If he'd survive it, we could engage another governess.
That isn't true. No one can take Vicky's place.
Oh, that's nonsense, Liz.
It isn't. David needs Vicky. That's why I made the offer, and I hope Burke accepts it.
I see.
Do you think I'm making a terrible mistake?
Well, I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Do you like the idea of Devlin staying here?
Well, I find it regrettable having someone other than a Collins at Collinwood. But on the other hand, I would be sorry to hear that Vicky was leaving.
So would I, particularly when it isn't necessary.
Well, I'm surprised that she doesn't want a home of her own.
She wants to be near David, and I'm happy that she does.
David is very lucky to have a companion like Miss Winters, as anyone would be.
Barnabas. Tell her what a mistake she's making.
Well, I wouldn't presume to do that. Elizabeth has made a decision, and I'm sure her judgment is sound.
Thank you, Barnabas.
Well, if you'll excuse me.
Mrs. Stoddard. Mrs. Stoddard.
Dr. Woodard.
Dave, what are you doing here?
Well, I just dropped by to see David.
How is he?
Physically, he's fine, but I gave him a sedative, so he'll get a good night's sleep.
Doctor, would you come in and sit down? I want to talk to you about David.
I'm sorry, Roger, but I can't right now. I've got a pressing appointment.
Well, surely you can spare a few minutes.
I'm sorry, Roger. I just can't right now. Matter of fact, I'm late already. If you'll all excuse me,
Will you come back?
I'll drop by tomorrow morning and we'll have a talk then.
Fine.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, he couldn't wait to get out of here, could he?
If you'll excuse us now.
I would like to take a look at the reconstruction.
I think you'll find it very interesting.
Well, I'm sure I will.
Liz,
Yes?
did you notice something strange about Barnabas just now?
Strange.
Was it my imagination, or did Barnabas seem distant, preoccupied, almost nervous?
I didn't notice it particularly.
I did. And he did seem nervous. I wonder why.
Well, where is the notebook?
On top of the armoire.
We'll get it.
All right.
I don't like Dr. Woodard being around Collinwood.
Well, he just came to see David. Here it is, all safe.
Well, open it.
All right. Barnabas,
What is it?
it's been pried open. It's the lock.
And the notebook?
It's gone.